It was a Friday evening, the kind of evening that usually carried the promise of rest after a long work week. I was in the living room, half watching the news, half scrolling through my phone when my wife, Arya, emerged from the bedroom. She was dressed nicely, subtle makeup, a black dress that hugged her figure just right, and the faint trace of perfume trailing behind her as she moved. "I'm heading out for dinner with the girls tonight," she said casually, slipping her earrings. Don't wait up for me, I might be late." On the surface, it was a harmless statement. She often went out with her friends, and I had never been the controlling type. But something in the way she said it, too quick, too rehearsed, caught my attention. She didn't meet my eyes either. That was the first red flag. The second had come earlier that afternoon. While using our shared tablet to check an email, I had noticed a hotel booking confirmation in her inbox. Her name, her card details, and a deluxe single room reserved for tonight. My heart had lurched at the sight. I told myself there had to be some explanation. But deep down suspicion gnawed at me. Now, watching her pick up her purse, I couldn't hold it in any longer. "Dinner with the girls, huh?" I said, keeping my tone even. "Strange, because just a few hours ago I saw you book a hotel." The effect was immediate. She froze mid-step, her keys slipping from her hand and clattering onto the floor. Her face drained of color, and for the first time in our marriage, she looked caught. Like a child who had been found stealing candy. I don't know what you mean," she stammered, her voice trembling. I leaned back on the couch, crossing my arms. "Don't insult me, Arya. I saw the confirmation. Your name. Tonight. A hotel. Now, do you want to explain, or should I draw my own conclusions?" Her lips parted, then closed again. She lowered herself onto the couch as if her legs could no longer hold her weight. She put her face in her hands, silent for what felt like an eternity. My heart thundered in my chest, a mix of fear and fury battling inside me. Finally, she whispered, "It's not what you think." I almost laughed bitterly. Those words were cliché, the standard defense of someone caught in a lie. "Then what is it, Arya? Because right now it looks like my wife is lying about dinner with friends so she can spend the night in a hotel. You tell me how I'm supposed to take that." She lifted her head, and to my surprise, her eyes were wet with tears. "I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how." Her voice broke. "It's not another man, it's me. I booked that hotel for myself." The anger in me faltered, replaced by confusion. "For yourself?" She nodded, her hands trembling. "I've been struggling. Panic attacks, anxiety, nights where I feel like I can't breathe. I didn't want you to see me like that. I didn't want to scare you or make you think I'm weak. I thought if I booked a hotel, I could have one night alone, cry it out, fall apart without anyone watching. That's why I lied. That's why I said dinner with the girls. I didn't want you to worry." Her words stunned me. I had braced myself for betrayal, for the image of her meeting another man, sneaking behind my back. But the truth was different, and in some ways, heavier. She hadn't lied to cheat. She had lied because she was terrified of appearing fragile to me, the one person she should have trusted the most. I sat in silence, processing. The anger that had been bubbling inside me now felt misplaced, almost cruel. "You lied to protect me from worry," I said quietly. "But don't you realize? You hurt me more by hiding it. You made me think the worst." She broke down completely then, her sobs shaking her body. "I was so scared," she admitted through tears. "Scared that if you saw me at my lowest, you'd stop loving me. I wanted to be the perfect wife, always smiling, always strong. I didn't want you to regret choosing me." My chest tightened. I moved closer and took her hands in mine. "Arya," I whispered, "marriage isn't about perfection. It's about truth. It's about sharing the good and the bad. If you're hurting, then I want to know. If you're breaking down, then I want to be the one holding you together. That's what I signed up for. That's love." Her eyes widened, and fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. She collapsed against me, burying her face in my chest, sobbing until she had no strength left. I held her close, stroking her hair, my own heart breaking for the loneliness she must have felt, suffering in silence. After a long time, she whispered, "I promise I'll never lie again. I'll never hide from you. I just need you to promise you won't think less of me." I kissed the top of her head. "I don't think less of you. If anything, I think more. It takes strength to admit you're not okay. And from now on, if you need space, you won't have to lie about dinner with the girls. Just tell me you need a break and I'll understand. I'll even book the hotel myself and sit outside the door until you're ready. But never again, Arya. Never again hide from me." She nodded, trembling in my arms. That night, she didn't go to any hotel. We stayed home. She told me everything she had bottled up. The endless pressure she felt at work, the expectations of being the perfect wife and daughter-in-law, the panic attacks that came like waves in the middle of the night. And I listened. For once, I didn't try to fix it or brush it away. I just listened, holding her hand the entire time. It was almost midnight when she finally fell asleep, her head resting on my chest, her breathing even. I lay awake for a long time, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how close I had come to believing the worst. A single lie, a single hotel booking, could have destroyed everything. But instead, it opened a door to the truth we both needed to face. From that night on, there were no more excuses about dinner with friends, no more lies to cover up her pain. She began therapy, with my full support. Some nights were still hard. Nights when she shook in my arms, convinced she couldn't make it through. But now she let me see it. And now, I stayed by her side, no matter how messy it got. People often think betrayal is the worst thing a marriage can face. But I learned that sometimes, silence is just as dangerous. Lies, even lies told to protect, can wound just as deeply as affairs. What saved us wasn't the absence of mistakes, but the choice to fight through them with honesty and patience. Whenever I remember that night, I still hear her words, "Dinner with the girls." And I remember my reply, "Strange. I just saw you book a hotel." It could have been the end of us. Instead, it became the beginning of a deeper love, built not on appearances but on truth.